Ronin Mode, Unmasked Chapter 16, Ghosts of Christmas Dawn. It was late 2007, right around the holidays. The air outside had that cold Texas winter feeling to it, not freezing, but cold enough to make everything feel lonely. It had been almost a year since me and Dawn had split up, and Deanna was still my on and off girlfriend, although honestly, even now I'm not sure what to call whatever we were. After Dee left her boyfriend, she came to live with me for a while, but it was always temporary. Nothing with Deanna felt stable for long. Part of me thinks she left because I kept complaining about all the drinking and drugs. Looking back, I probably sounded more like a worried husband than a boyfriend half the time. And like I said before, she almost burned my apartment down once. But deep down, I think the real reason she pulled away was because things between us were starting to become real. Too real. And Dee did what she always did whenever emotions started getting too heavy. She ran. She moved back in with her grandparents, who lived only a few miles from my apartment. They were old school, strict people. No drinking. No drugs. No chaos. The complete opposite of Deanna. But even after she moved out, she still came over to my place once or twice a week just to hang out, smoke cigarettes on the balcony, listen to music, and pretend we weren't slowly destroying each other emotionally. At the time, I also wasn't seeing my best friend German as much anymore because he had been dating this cute Hispanic girl that I actually helped hook him up with. I honestly can't remember all the details now. But I think I walked up to her one day and said something stupid like, "Hey, my friend thinks you're cute and wants to talk to you." Something simple like that. Back then life still felt simple sometimes. Anyway, they had been together for about a year by then, so naturally I didn't see him as much anymore. And honestly, I was happy for him. But me and German were also starting to drift apart for other reasons too, and truthfully, I think most of it was my fault. I was a mess back then. Emotionally exhausted. Always chasing love. Always losing it. First Crystal. Then Dawn. Then Deanna. Looking back now, bro was probably getting sick of hearing me complain about women all the time. One night Deanna was sleeping over at my apartment. The night before we had made love, but by that point I already understood the pattern. We would have these deeply intimate moments together. And then the next day she would emotionally disappear and act like none of it had ever happened. That shit used to tear me apart inside. I remember laying there beside her that night, staring up at the ceiling while cigarette smoke floated through the room, finally realizing I couldn't keep pretending anymore. So I asked her, straight up, "Dee, what are we?" She looked over at me but didn't answer. I know we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, at least not in the normal sense. But you know I have real feelings for you. I've told you that. Nothing. She just stared at me with those big brown wild eyes of hers. No expression. No emotion. Just silence. And somehow that silence hurt worse than rejection. I swallowed hard and tried again. "Dee. I'm serious. I need an answer. Do you actually have real feelings for me or not?" Right then my cheap cricket cell phone started ringing from across the room. I remember being irritated at first. The number wasn't saved in my contacts, and normally I would have ignored it. But for some reason I answered. "Hello?" A pause. Then a voice I hadn't heard in almost a year. "Paul?" The second I heard her voice, my stomach dropped. It was Dawn. "Is this Dawn?" "Yeah, this is my new number." There was another pause. Then softly she said, "I want to talk, Paul. It's been almost a year, and I didn't like the way things ended between us. I looked over at Deanna lying beside me. Dawn, honestly, this isn't really a good time right now. I have company over. That's okay, she said quietly. What I need to say? I don't really want to say over the phone anyway. Another pause. Can I come see you tomorrow? I closed my eyes for a second. Part of me already knew this was a bad idea. But another part of me had spent almost a year secretly wishing for this exact phone call. Okay, I finally said. You can come over tomorrow. We'll talk in person. When I hung up the phone, Deanna had already fallen asleep. So I let it go. At least for the night. But I barely slept. My mind was racing so hard it felt like my thoughts were physically shaking inside my skull. All night long memories kept replaying in my head. Dawn laughing. Dawn crying. Dawn leaving. The next morning I woke up late after barely sleeping at all. Deanna was already gone. Probably at work. And just like always, the conversation never got finished. I sat there on the edge of my bed for a long time before finally getting into the shower. I still remember staring at myself in the bathroom mirror afterward, exhausted and emotionally drained, wondering why love always seemed to hurt me more than it made me happy. Later that afternoon there was a knock at my apartment door. The second I opened it, there she was. Dawn. Standing there like some ghost from my past. She was in her mid-20s, light-skinned, with these unbelievably beautiful eyes that looked almost Asian, eyes that could shift from bright blue to deep hazy green depending on the light. Her long blonde dreadlocks rested over her shoulders, and the smell of tea tree oil instantly filled the doorway. Some hippie thing, apparently. At least that's what she used to tell me. "Hello, Paul," she said softly. "How have you been?" I lied instantly. "I'm good." Truthfully, I had been emotionally falling apart for almost a year. But pride will make you lie even when your heart is bleeding. Dawn smiled nervously. "Do you want to go to the mall like we used to? Maybe get some coffee and talk?" I shrugged like it didn't matter. "Sounds good. I could use some coffee. I didn't sleep too well last night." We got into her new tan Hyundai Santa Fe SUV, and I remember quietly looking around the inside of it while she drove. "This is nice," I said. "When did you get this?" "I just bought it a few weeks ago," she said proudly. "I've been working a lot and saving money." "That's good, Dawn." And honestly, I meant it. The ride to the mall felt surreal. Dawn was blasting her favorite Christian music through the speakers while Christmas lights blurred past the windows outside. And the whole time my chest felt tight with anxiety. I hadn't seen or spoken to this woman in almost a year. Now suddenly we were driving to the mall for coffee like nothing had ever happened. Like she hadn't shattered my heart into pieces. The mall was packed with people shopping for Christmas. Decorations hung everywhere. Lights. Garland. Fake snow. Christmas music echoing through the hallways. The whole place felt warm and alive. Meanwhile, inside me, everything still felt broken. We walked into the coffee shop. I ordered my usual, a tall white chocolate mocha. My favorite. Dawn ordered a caramel frappuccino, just like she always used to. Then we sat down. And finally I looked at her and said, "Okay, Dawn, what is it you wanted to say?" She stared down at the table for a few seconds before speaking. Then quietly she said, "Paul, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about what happened on New Year's. I know I hurt you. And I don't expect you to forgive me right away." Her voice started shaking. "But I missed you. Something inside me immediately started breaking apart again. I don't know if it's because of the holidays, she continued, but Thanksgiving was miserable for me. I couldn't stop thinking about you. Even my parents and my brother and sister asked about you. Then she paused. And Bob's. The second she said his name, I felt my throat tighten. He misses you too, she whispered. He still has the piano you gave him. That destroyed me. Completely. I could literally feel tears burning behind my eyes. Dawn, don't fucking do this to me. My voice cracked when I said it. You know how hard I've been trying to forget you. You know how hard I've been trying to move on. I gave you everything I had. I thought you were the one. The one I could build a real life with. The one I could grow old with. The one I could finally have a real family with. And you just threw me away like I was nothing. Dawn immediately shook her head. No, Paul. Never. You were never nothing to me. You were one of the kindest, sweetest, most good-hearted people I've ever met. It was me. I didn't realize what you meant to me until it was too late. I took you for granted, and I just didn't know what I wanted back then. Please don't take it personal, Paul. I laughed bitterly. How do you want me not to take it personal, Dawn? This is my fucking life. So yeah. I took that shit personal. She nodded slowly. Look, Paul. I'm not asking for us to just go back to the way things were before New Year's. All I'm asking is, please give me a second chance. Give us a second chance. I don't want you to give me an answer right now, not while you're still upset, but please just think about it. We can start slow. Start fresh. Just give it some thought, Paul. That's all I'm asking. I sat there silent, trying to process all of it. Trying to hold myself together. Trying not to let all that old pain come rushing back at once. Finally, after a long pause, I looked up at her. How's Bob's? Dawn smiled brightly through the emotion. He's good. He's going to be starting school soon. After a while she drove me back home. And the second I walked into my apartment, all the emotions I had been holding back finally exploded out of me. I crawled into bed fully dressed and started crying uncontrollably into my pillow. Not quiet crying either. The kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep in your soul. The kind that leaves your chest hurting afterward. At some point, emotionally exhausted, I finally drifted off to sleep. 1000% facts.